Hi guys, I have no idea what is happening with Facebook. There is some weird stuff happening. It just shut down the live and I don't know. Technology and me don't always get along, but it's really acting up today. So I didn't even go near my camera and all of a sudden the live just shut down on me. So we are back up. Hopefully I'm going to stay up and we are going to be working with the IOD transfers today. So on this cabinet, this is a customer's piece. This isn't for the studio. And she has requested that I use the sunflower IOD transfers on the front of this. So I was saying in the other video, was live just a minute ago, what I've done so far with the cabinet is there was some faux tile on the front of this, the stick-on type, and so that has been removed. When that was removed, there had been some filler in the door that pulled out when I took the tile off, which didn't know that it was there until you take the tile off. So that's been filled back in, and because it was filled, I needed to paint. I just painted this little panel here in white, and then I put a polyurethane over it to seal the fat paint. So now it's ready for the transfers. The other thing that I did, and is important on any piece that you're working on, is it needs to be thoroughly cleaned. You want to make sure that it is grease free. So I used cleaning vinegar and I washed down the front of it and then I rinsed it off. If you're doing it on glass, I suggest rubbing alcohol to remove any greasiness from your hands or from cleaners, from whatever. Just get rid of all the grease, and rubbing alcohol works really, really good for glass if you're going to be using IOD transfers. So what I'm going to be doing is these ones here. So in the new, not platform because it's not digital, but these used to be in tubes. So now they're actually long sheets. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take these sheets out. So there's one, as you can see, and it has grids and everything on it to make it easy to make sure things are straight. So we're going to be working with that one and this one, and they just like a normal notebook, they just peel out. So those are the two that we're going to be working with. I'm going to set this aside. And then, so this is the other one. So these are super easy. Now, obviously, I'm not going to just take this and plop it on here. I have to actually create a nice sort of pattern and design for this. So I was thinking about it yesterday, how I was going to do this up. So I kind of want it to kind of go like this on the door, and it'll be a nice balance. And so you need to plan things out a little bit when you're doing these types of transfers, unless it's one like the dresser I posted a couple of weeks ago, where it's basically you're just putting it all as one piece along the front of the dresser and you just tape it on and away you go. Something like this where you're going to cut all the pieces out and place them, you want to give it a little bit of thought. I'm not one for overthinking and planning completely, but I have a rough idea of what I want, so we're going to start with that. So there's a few things that you need. You need scissors. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to start with a stem, and we've got a nice long stem here, so I'm going to cut that out. I need a bigger table to work on, but okay, the other thing that we need, and I was sure I had it here just a minute ago, and now I don't know where I put it. I had tape. I know I had tape. I put it out. Where did I put it? Okay, we need another roll of tape. There's my roll of tape. I don't know where I did put the other one, but anyways, so we're going to take a little bit of tape. just a small piece. And I want this to overlap the two doors, or the door and part of this. So then this is the top of the stem, and you can see it starts to curve. And then I'm going to want a flower here, so that I've got some flower on the drawer and I've got some flower on the door. Now I don't want to tape the whole thing down, but I want to make sure that it's not going to go anywhere. And we're going to go like this, and there's two pieces to this. So this part with the grid on it, hopefully you can see this. I'm going to just bring the camera. It's going to jiggle, so bear with me. There we go. So see the grid? That's to help you. And then there's the backing paper. We don't need this now that I've got it in place. Take that out. And I just got to shift this over a bit because a lot of it is right on that edge. And we're just going to go like this. Move that up. And we're just going to tape that there, so it's not going to go anywhere. And it has a little bit of sticky to it, and we're just going to go like that. Now I'm going to move the camera back so that you can see from a distance. There we go. All right, now you can see what I'm doing. The other thing obviously, wherever my tape went is where my other stuff went. Did I put it underneath there? Oh my goodness, guys. Oh, I know, because it's on the... It was on the thing that I had the laptop on, so there's my tape. Each package of IOD transfers, you get one of these little plastic things. And this is for rubbing your transfer and getting it off of the grid paper and onto your piece. So it's pretty simple. I'm left-handed, so I'm gonna go around this way, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to start rubbing. It takes a bit. You don't have to apply a lot of pressure, but you do have to apply some. And I am going to get another little piece of tape, and I'm just going to stick that there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors, and I know I said I'm left-handed, but I'm right-handed when it comes to scissors. I'm weird. And I'm just going to cut this here, just like that. Take this tape off so that this is going to allow this part, because this is right on it, the edge of the drawer, and I want to be able to rub in there. So if it was taped down, it would make it difficult, but now that part of it's stuck, it's sticking. I don't need to worry about it moving. So and then we can go like this, and we can start to peel and see whether or not it's adhering. Can you guys hear me okay? Oh, so much better. Good. Good. And there we go. And then we can go with that. Make sure that that's stuck. So there's a little bit, and then we can start seeing if this one is all adhered. And if it's not, as I pull it down, just go back over it. It's not a really slow process, but it's not a really fast one either. And the more practice you have with it, I haven't done an awful lot of these, but it's pretty simple. So there's the stem is on there. Now I need to decide what I'm going to put on next. And come back over here. And we want something that's going to make sense. So obviously it needs to be going facing this way, because the stem is tipped this way. Putting this one on like that wouldn't work. It needs to be one that's facing the right way. And I kind of like this one here. So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to cut it out. And all I'm going to do, you can see what I'm doing. Doesn't have to be fancy schmancy or anything. I'm just going to go and I'm just going to cut around it. And then the same idea again. I'm going to line this up. Now, I am going to get my piece of tape first. Get that ready on my finger. And I'm going to, you don't want to take your backer paper off until you're ready to put it right down. Because if I accidentally dropped it onto the table or the floor, that would be awful and make a mess. And it might not, then your transfer may not adhere properly. And I want to make sure that it makes sense where the stem is and where it matches up. So I'm just going to overlap it a little bit. I'm going to go up just a smidge. And there. And then I'm going to put my tape there just to hold it in place. And then I get my little plastic piece and I'm just going to do the same thing. And I'm going to rub this on. Once I have this part down here attached, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut. And then I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to cut. That. And I'm just bending it over a little bit on the top of the door. And then we're going to test it and see if it's adhering. Perfect. And then we just keep doing the same thing. try a knife to cut along here because the scissors are too big. So I'm going to grab my knife. And see if this will cut this. There we go. Okay, so let's try and peel this piece off and see how things are going. So I don't know if you can see that from back there. I'm going to move this in a bit just so that you guys don't, if you ever attempt this on your own and you see this, you don't have to, you know that you don't have to freak out. So I'm lifting this up and there's still a piece attached to the grid paper. So all I do is I lay it back down and I rub a little bit more and then we try it again. And because it's a little bit textured, sometimes it has a little bit of a harder time gripping. There we go. So that's coming off nicely now. There we go. All right, I'm going to move the camera back. Go. Just rub my finger along there. All right, so now we're on to this part. So it is a bit of an art form. You do want to create something pretty. You just don't want to sort of plop them on. Piece of tape off. Oh. And we're going to give this a whirl and see if this one is going to lift off now. No, it's still. There we go. There we go. So a good start. Now I need to make some other decisions as to where we're going to put some more flowers on this. So let's take a look. I really like that one flower that's facing completely forward, so I'm gonna get that one cut out. And we're gonna figure out where to put this one. So I don't know whether I want it. And we've got this one here as well. I think maybe something like that. Like this. And so we'll do this one first. I'm just going to stick some tape there. Now this one's going to be a little bit trickier because we've got this angled part. So I'm actually going to start at the top on this one and work down to this part. Then I will cut it and then fold it to do the angled part. If I start here, it's going to get puckered and it's going to be really weird and difficult to deal with. Let's see if... Okay, just checking to see if there was any questions. Okay, so again, we've got the handy dandy plastic and we're just going to try and hold that still. And it's moving a little bit too much, so I'm going to put some more tape on it. And just a little bit there, and I'm not going to rub it down on top of the transfer over there. It's just sitting there. There we go. Oh, what a fool. I'm a fool. Look what I did, guys. I forgot to take the backer off. I'm scrubbing away and it's not coming off. There we go. Maybe it'll do something now. There we go. I don't think I had enough caffeine yet this morning. So always remember to take your backer paper off. Oh, this is going to look really nice. Go. So now that this is stuck down pretty good, I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to cut right along the wood here. And I have to sort of poke it with my knife first to get it through the plastic. There we go. And then that gets it started. There we go. Just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Grab a piece of tape here. Stick that there. And stick that there. And let's see if we've got this one up here finished. There we go. And now onto this part down here. Now this little ridge here, I'm not going to cut. It's just going to, the transfer itself is going to split a little bit on its own right at that crease, but it'll look perfectly fine. You don't want a big division. If I was to cut it, you might get a bigger gap, so we want to just sort of roll it over and try and bend it. Not to stand too much in the way. Are you guys seeing okay? There, so that's off. And now we'll go. I would really like to put one here, but because we've got so many angles and the joint there, I'm not going to put a flower right there. I'll probably put some leaves here instead to try and fill in this white space a little bit. So instead, we're going to do a leaf. And that in place. How are we doing? There we go. I'm going to cut out another one. Okay, I think I'm going to put this one right here. And get some tape. And this time I'm going to remember to take the white backer paper off. And I'm going to tape it like this. So it's overlapping, and you're allowed to. I'm overlapping one of the other flowers a little bit. And go. And this time I'm going to do this part and then I'm going to fold it and bring it down onto the angled part. There we go. Sometimes I'll use my thumbnail to work a spot too. This one's being a little pickier. Doesn't want to stick. That one little corner doesn't want to stay down. Okay, so let's get starting to build up a sweat doing this. Go. There, it's finally sticking. All right, there we go. Okay, so that's a good start to show you guys how it is time consuming. You have to put some effort in, but it's pretty easy. You just set it down and then you just keep rubbing until the transfer sticks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut away. I'm going to finish this, get it to almost done, and then when I'm almost done, I'm going to come back on and I'm going to go live again, and then I will show you guys how to completely finish this up, because there is another step after I get all the transfers on. There's a couple of steps that need to be done to finish the project. So maybe an hour and a half thereabouts to get the rest of the flowers and the design on here, and then I'll come back on live and I'll show you how to finish it all up. So till then, guys, we'll see you in a little while. Thanks for joining me, and if you have any questions in the meantime, post them, or come back on in a little while and ask them then. Okay, we'll see you later. Bye.